What is going on? Welcome back to the channel, and today I will be taking you guys through a chest and ab workout. So today was kind of the first time in a while that I've been able to do something along the lines of how I actually like to train. So the important thing to remember here is to treat every set like you're doing a working set. So even though this is just the bar, I'm still getting into my shape that I would be doing if I was going to be going for a max effort, just so that nothing changes and you keep consistent throughout your workout. And I think that is important for triggering the mind muscle connection, which means how well you can focus on just using the muscle that you're trying to work out. So yesterday I did triceps, so I pre-exhausted my arms for this workout, trying to get back to the way I used to train. So what that means is basically that I take a muscle group that works with something, so like chest and triceps or back and biceps, and I like to pre-exhaust that. So either working the smaller muscle first to make it tired so that you can focus on using the bigger muscle. And it took a little bit of time for me to figure out how to do that, and it took some practice of like getting things right and stuff. But so basically, I do a full tricep day and then go the next day and do my chest day. So today we did chest and abs, and we started off with the bench press, and it was actually a pretty good day for me. I haven't bench pressed in a while, so as you guys know, that my weakest part of my body, and I accept it that it's my weakest, is my chest. And so today I'm trying to work on getting a little bit stronger, get a little bit thicker in my chest, try and build a bigger chest. And so by doing that, I'm switching to more of a power building style workout. So you can see every time I set up the exact same way, so nothing changes from set to set. And I ended up doing a 5 by 5 at 185 pounds, which is pretty good for me. It's not a lot of weight, but I mean it's enough for me. And that's the important thing too to remember. If you're walking around the gym, it doesn't matter what you're lifting as long as it's effective for you and you're seeing results. It doesn't matter. Unless you're worried about powerlifting, then I'm not the right guy to talk to because I'm not a big proponent of how much weight I can lift. It's about how aesthetically pleasing can I make myself look. So here you're seeing 135 to failure with my legs off the ground, and that again is just to isolate on using my chest for just this one set. And it was as many reps as you can do. And if you haven't done these, try lifting your legs off the ground for one time, and you don't realize how much legs you actually use to perform a bench press. So when you take that away, and with the pre-exhausted triceps, you're actually able to push with just your chest, and it feels completely different than anything you've done. So I just did one set of that for failure. I think I got 20 reps, and then we did half reps to a full extension. So this really isolates your chest again. And what it's going to do is when you come down slow with a tempo count, so about a 4 count down, you do a half rep and then you do a full rep up top, and that's really going to force your muscles to fire in different ways. Your chest is built in a pretty unique way where it has muscle fibers running both vertically and horizontally across the muscle. So that's a big proponent. I like to train the vertical and horizontal opposite of each other. So a bench press is something that's going to train a horizontal striation of your muscle, which just means that it'd be basically going from shoulder to shoulder, and the vertical is basically from chin to your hip. You can think of that as vertical. And so chest or bench press is going to work that horizontal striation, and these flies that you're seeing are going to work that vertical striation. So it's going to help target your inner chest, and it's going to help target that outer chest, that kind of sweeping motion that you see with most more developed people, and that's the look I'm chasing. So that's why I work those two back to back, and I've been seeing good results with these. So on the cable flies, I like to do one to three warm-up sets for these because they're starting with a different muscle, and then you can see that I cross my hand over opposite of each other, and then when I've done working with the set, I finish even to the middle just to make sure that I'm keeping everything even so that I didn't go higher on one side or something like that. And we did 4 sets of those, but I wasn't able to record all of them, unfortunately. And then we moved over to what normally is a tricep machine, but if you change the way you sit on it, you can actually work your chest muscles. So you can see that my feet are behind me instead of in front of me, and I'm leaning forward almost to like a 35 degree angle from vertical straight up. The chair itself on this machine is already leaned forward, but if you lean forward even more, like you can see right here, and push your elbows out to the side, you can almost replicate a decline bench. So if you were going to do this machine for triceps, I'd be telling you to keep your elbows closer to your sides and pushing with your triceps. Here, if you lean forward and push your elbows out to the side and kind of imitate your grip that you would do on bench press, you're actually going to feel your chest feel like it's going to explode with these, and they're one of my absolute favorite workouts that I like to do. So besides that, we did these. These I never really count for reps. These are kind of, you go by feel. So I went up to 210 pounds on these, and when you lean forward, it's kind of hard to keep yourself. So you keep with these two, you keep that constant resistance on your chest. So when you lean forward on most chest exercises, you're going to lose that mind muscle connection at least at one point in your movement. That's just kind of the unfortunate nature of training chest. But this, when you lean forward with a heavier weight, there's no way to avoid taking the stress off the muscle of your chest. So you can see that I do my sets and then I can pump out a few half reps, and that's just really forcing blood and tearing that muscle down in your chest, so that when you go home and you get your proper nutrition and your supplementation, that's all going to repair, and it's going to look aesthetically pleasing as you want. So the last thing we did for the chest here was a machine incline press. We didn't do any dumbbell work today because I think that works a different type of your chest workout, or a different part of your chest on a chest workout. So I like to do, a big thing for me too is you hear people going on a split or whatever. I don't like to do the same workout like more than 2 times in a row. I think it keeps it interesting to change it up and try and improve yourself in all aspects of everything. So that's why we're doing the incline machine press today. So again, we're not going too heavy. I think we just had 60 pounds here, and we're doing that same kind of rep pattern that we were doing with the dip machine, where you're not really counting, you go by feel. So I would say do nothing less than 8 reps if you're worried about counting to something. And that's going to sum that up for chest. And here you're seeing how I train abs. I like to train abs in a circuit style, which means you pick 3 or 4 exercises and do them back to back to back. So in this case, we did the 3 exercises. We did hanging leg raises, feet on ball, reverse crunch, and sitting bicycles. So you'll see all 3 of those together. So on the hanging leg raises, I think it's important to not use momentum to swing your legs up. Kind of get yourself into a dead hang position, blow out all your air, get a tight core, and then bring your knees to your chest slowly and then down slowly. You shouldn't be swinging all over the place like a monkey. And then immediately after that, you grab the ball. You can see that I start in a plank position with my ankles on the ball, or my toes on the ball. And then these, the same thing. You keep your core tight, blow out all your air, and then focus on bringing the lower part of your abdominal structure, flexing that, and it'll just automatically bring your legs in. You don't actually have to worry about moving your legs. Your abs are going to be doing it, not momentum again. And here, these are pretty simple. You just kind of sit on your butt, get comfortable, and then slowly rock yourself back and forth, touch your opposite hand, your opposite foot. And that's what we're doing for the circuit. So I do 4 sets of that and try and keep the rest time below 45 seconds between those 3 workouts. And then the last thing that we did was a cable rope crunch. So you can't really build your abdominal muscles. You can't make them stronger, but you can make them more pronounced. And a lot of that starts with a diet in the kitchen. You can't actually, like go train arms and make them bigger. You can't do that for your abs. You can just make them more cut up, and you can make them more shaped, but you can't improve them in any way. It's your genetics, and it comes down to how well conditioned you are through a diet. So don't think you can do that. But for these, I think they can help bring the lines in between your abs out. But that's going to do it for this commentary. So if you guys like it, please like these videos, share your friends, and that's going to be it.
Back when I used to pull up in the Honda, police was behind us. I would still wake up like I'm in the Bahamas.